And we're live. What is going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Let me know right away how the audio sounds. I spent probably the better part of an hour this morning trying to figure out why the audio was so broken last stream, and it looks like for some reason something switched within OBS, and the answer was not very straightforward. So the audio levels all seem good to me, but please let me know. 24/7 printing, hello. He says audio is great, awesome. Yeah, I watched it last week and was just really bummed because music wasn't great, audio wasn't great, video quality wasn't great. It was kind of a mess of a stream, but considering we had just been in this place for a day and a half, I just wanted to go live and see everybody because we'd missed the week before. So how's everybody doing? Let's see who's all here today. Sem, 24/7, everyone say hi to 24/7 Printing. If you haven't checked out his channel and his stuff, I first found him through the Voron 0.1 like speedboat benchy race. He had, if you've looked into the Voron stuff, you've probably seen his stuff, but like his Voron 0.1 is modded to hell. It is absolutely insane. And he also did a really awesome breakdown of I think it was the FormBot versus the LDO Voron 0.1 kits. So if you're interested in checking out either of those kits, the video was incredibly detailed and well put together. So glad to have you here. Bigger Fish, Nice 3D, Polarist, Ray, Paul, Carl, Justin, Jason, how's everybody doing? Yeah, so updates on things. Last week, well, we got a new workbench, which is awesome. This came in, it wasn't supposed to come in until yesterday, but it came in Monday, so I spent some hours getting that in, and it's replaced the carts. So now it's way more rigid and just gives me a lot more space and feels a lot more like a studio. So I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah, 24/7's prints are awesome. Hey, G-Funny's here, what's going on? So yeah, today we are going to be unboxing the Saturn II and doing a resin print. I haven't resin printed probably in a couple of months, so I'm pretty excited. And the Saturn I was such an awesome machine that I'm really excited to see what the Saturn II is all about. Let's see, what else is there? So I wanted to update everyone. If you were here last week, we assembled the Elegoo Neptune 3, which is their new FDM 3D printer that's like the upgrade to the 2 and the 2S. And we had some issues, and the first issue was leveling. Leveling was super inconsistent. Where's the print? I don't know where the print is right now, but leveling was really inconsistent, and we ended up adding M420S1 into the starting G-code for the slicer, which basically has it recall the mesh for the print, and that seemed to help. But I still reached out to Elegoo to ask them about the whole, like, hey, why was the leveling not working as it should, considering that a beginner wouldn't know to check the starting G-code and to make changes to a profile. And they said that there has been a firmware update. I think that I got probably one of the earlier units. I've had it for quite a while now. And so I'm gonna update the firmware and see if that fixes the issue if I remove the M420S1, but I did want to update everyone that they did respond quickly and said that they believe it's due to the firmware and that they've given the feedback to their team. The print itself, which I don't know where it is because of the fact that I moved so much stuff, it turned out not great. There was some very obvious extrusion inconsistencies and under extrusion. I have a feeling it's something to do with the Bowden tube, just maybe it's not seated correctly, and so it was causing some issues. So I'm going to troubleshoot that. I haven't gotten a chance yet, but I wanted to at least update everyone because last week's stream, we sort of ran into some issues with that printer, and sort of that's where we're at with that right now. So sound is only, oh, interesting. Only getting audio on right channel. Let's see if I can briefly change it. It would be an OBS setting. So everybody's only getting audio from one direction? Let's see, properties, that looks fine. Left channel is static. Advanced audio properties. Rode wireless go. It shows that it's even and it's stereo. Interesting. Audio sounds good on my TV, music in both channels, but your voice is only on left. Is it? Okay. I think we'll roll with it. I don't want to tweak anything with the audio settings because I have a little bit of fear after last week, because I know the audio is substantially better than it was last week. It was really bad last week, and so I'm sorry about that. So if it's at least better than last week, I will leave it, and then I'll have to investigate a bit more, because it should be like stereo. The microphone should be going through left and right. If it's not, I will investigate, but hopefully it's okay. Problem in a jack. Put it here, only 6 likes. Yeah, hit the like button, everybody. So hopefully that's okay. I don't see anywhere apparent where it would not be correct. Sounds okay on my tablet. You're coming out of both speakers. Properties. Filters. Yeah, mono is not enabled. I can click mono. Do we want to? Okay, I'm going to click mono right now, and everybody let me know if that sounds better. So mono going live in 3, 2, 1, and close. Okay, now we're mono. Let me know if that sounds better than stereo. I don't want to unplug the jack because I'm worried it will screw things up. It should be mono now though, so let's see if that works a little bit better. Mono's better. Okay, cool. Awesome. We'll do that. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so what other updates are there for today? So we're going to be doing a giveaway for a spool of Polymaker filament. That will go live probably in an hour and 20 minutes. So it's 1 o'clock here now my time, so 2:30 my time, but old time would be 1:30 Pacific Standard. And international shipping, it should be any spool of their PLA, ABS, and I believe PTG. We will draw that. And what else? I think that's about it. I'm super excited. Murph is coming up next week, so I'm actually taking off. We'll stream next Wednesday, I believe. I'll have to update everyone a little bit prior to that. And then Thursday, I'm gone through Tuesday. And I'm hoping we'll do a chill, like maybe next, not this coming up Wednesday, but the following might be just like a Murph recap. Like if there was any news or anything exciting, we'll kind of hang out and talk. Unless I'm just tired or not feeling well. So we'll that'll be probably a last minute scheduled stream, but I am super excited for we're hearing mic pop. I can lower, let's see here. I can lower the mic output a little bit if it's too loud. Something happened, I mean, lots of things happened during the move, but let's see. So I am going to lower it. It was up 2 decibels, so we'll drop it down 4 dB. Maybe that's a little bit better. Okay. Let's see, is that okay or is that too low? Let me know. Anyways, so yeah, we'll probably have a chill stream after that, and I think that's about it. Let's go ahead and get this unboxed and do some printing here. I don't actually have any IPA, so that'll be interesting. I just ordered like 6 bottles of it. All the IPA that I had, I got rid of before the move because I was worried about transferring a bunch of IPA into U-Haul and having like half goopy resin and IPA, you know, kind of get all over everything. You know what, we should probably take a really quick look at the specs on this really quick here. Audio's great, awesome, okay. Someone says too low. We're gonna roll with it. I think it's tough to get it right for everybody, but hopefully it's at least decent enough. So here is the page for it. So it's currently in pre-order. It looks like the early bird has already, it's done, and delivery is in July. So the next one is the first batch, which is in August. What was the price? Okay, so it's $500 for the early bird, and it's $550 for the pre-order for the first batch and second batch. And the key things is that this has an 8K monochrome screen, while if I'm not mistaken, the original Saturn was a 4K monochrome screen. It says 43% larger than the original Saturn's printing build volume, and I thought the original Saturn was already absolutely huge. So build volume is 219 by 123 by 250. New light source. I feel like every single resin printer always seems to have a new light source. I'm not going to quit trying to talk to you during the switch wire. I'm not doing. I don't have the AMA anymore, CRS. I think it either got donated or basically taken apart for, like other projects or something like that. Okay, Nice is saying the audio is not great, but I'm still gonna roll with it because I don't really know what else to change. We've switched it over to mono and I've dropped it a couple dB. I'll have to figure it out. Okay, it says it's okay now. So what else? What else? There's an air filter, which is nice. That's something that I think should be standard. I'm actually gonna be doing a video, probably not this Saturday. No, this Saturday's video is done. So next Saturday's video is probably gonna be on just general resin 3D printing. I've been wanting to make a video for a really long time. Erin says, I think that she thinks I sound fine. That's awesome. Thank you, babe. Just kind of talking about sort of like some of the features I would like to see on the next generation of resin 3D printers, because there's a lot of the same things, which are basically bigger, you know, higher resolution, but I've talked about it quite a few times, and the first resin 3D printer I ever had or got in was actually, let's see if overhead will work. The first resin 3D printer I ever got in was actually a 480p screen, if I'm not mistaken, and the quality looked really, really good. And so, you know, now that we're at, this is a 10K, and I'm not saying that, you know, again, some instances it might not make sense to have, you know, high resolution screen, but there's a lot of other features I would really like to see. So I think it would be a fun video to kind of go over this list I've sort of compiled over the last year or so of just different features that I would like to see. And also, I'm curious to get feedback from other people that have been resin printing, or maybe that aren't resin printing. You know, what's the reason that they haven't taken the dive yet? And is there some sort of feature set that you're missing that would sort of make you take the plunge? Like, I know there's a lot of people that like to do practical printing and they think that, or they see resin 3D printing as it's great for miniatures and tabletop stuff, which isn't incorrect, but you can do quite a bit of functional 3D printing now thanks to some of the like ABS-like or, you know, tougher resins that exist out there. Zaron says, I'm really excited about the Saturn II, thinking about getting one. Yeah, Zaron's been doing a lot of resin 3D printing. He's got some awesome, is it for Warhammer that you've been doing or something else, Zaron? I've been doing some resin tests with iFun this week. What is that, Carl? The iFun? It's a nice resin, but it's but I'm any cubic resin fan. My favorite resin has been Soraya Tech. It's been my go-to. They're fast resin for like general purpose model resin, and then they're Soraya Tech Blue for tough printing or functional 3D printing has been my go-to. I did these, so the machine was sent to me from Elegoo. The bottles of resin weren't. I ordered these off of Amazon. The main reason was that I just wanted to test it out with their resin. But yeah, typically I've been buying, for the last couple of years, at least since it's been out, the Soraya Tech fast resin. It's just awesome stuff, super low odor, prints great, and pretty affordable as well, even though it's gone up a little bit. Gunner says too much work. My Helmet Plus color is fantastic, but it's not made by Creality. Is anti-aliasing a thing? Yeah, anti-aliasing is a thing. Hey, what's going on, Dutch? Does it have the autofill? It doesn't have the autofill feature, and that's actually one of the things that's on, that's actually one of the things, I'm gonna break the box on the side to open it. It's one of the things that's on my list that I would really like to see. It doesn't matter to me as much for small resin printers, like, you know, the original Mars 3 or whatever, but for larger printers like the Saturn II or Saturn, or like I had the Phenom. I got rid of the Phenom when I moved. I actually reached out to Pia Poly because they had sent it to me initially, and it was passed on to somebody else locally in California. We're just destroying this box, that way I can kind of slide it out. This is not how I would probably normally open it. But for example, that printer, if you wanted to print something large, actually, let's just drop, all right, it's not too heavy. It's actually not that heavy. Bam. I've also got a side cam set up here, so we'll check this one out in a little bit. We'll move this like that. Brain farting here, thoughts. So that one, if you wanted to print something full volume and full plate, you'd have to fill the vat multiple times throughout the print. And the issue is, especially with like monochrome screens, and they print so quickly, unless you're setting timers throughout the night or pausing it before you go to bed, it's quite easy to run your vat dry on such a large printer, and then you're out of print. And resin is still, it's come down in price a lot for standard stuff, but it's still fairly inexpensive, where you don't want to be wasting Let me see if I can just put this over here. You don't want to be wasting a lot of resin. That'll work. So I know that, I don't like the ceramic resins are great. I haven't played around with ceramic resins. Let's see, I don't like the variability of cure time and brittleness of the resin for practical printing. Yeah, that's valid. I will say that one thing that I've seen a lot of people do, and I think I've tested it out once, is taking a standard model resin and maybe mixing like 10 to 15% of a flexible resin to give it a little bit more impact resistance. It works pretty dang well. Let's go back to, let's see, maybe main cam for now. There we go. I have an Anycubic Photon Mono, okay, but want to upgrade, and the M3 series for Anycubic got annihilated by Tom. Check his video on it after the stream. Okay, I did see the thumbnail for it. I know that it sort of said like great ideas but bad execution or something along those lines. I will say that like as I am typically doing with reviews, I try to focus on the positive without obviously ignoring the negative, because I don't think that there's any printer that's 100% perfect, but he definitely will be very brutal. Sometimes things that I don't think are as big of a deal as they're sort of made out to be, but I'm curious to see what his thoughts were on that, because I know that a lot of people seem to really like that printer, and I am doing a fail job. Let's see if I just tear. Yeah, I'm curious to see what he didn't like about it, so I will check it out. It was recommended. I saw someone shared it in the Discord, so I'll have to check it out. I'm printing a lot of miniatures from One Page Rules and Hero Smith Infinite from Warhammer and Age of Fantasy and Grim. Okay, gotcha. I will say that for its size, it's not incredibly heavy, which is kind of nice. It's got some weight to it, don't get me wrong, but compared to the Phenom, which, the Phenom was a lot bigger, but this is something that you could easily, one person lift it, which is nice. So let's take off the cover. Let me scroll down a little bit here. iFund makes dental printers, but have a lot of, oh cool, they have a lot of resin on the market. I see the video did. I got the Mono X for $3 a few weeks back. I liked the Mono X and the Mono X 6K. I love my Photon Mono, don't get me wrong, but I would like an 8K by now. The Wham Bam Flex Plates. Yes, the Wham Bam Flex Plates are awesome. I had one on the, let's take this off. I had one on the Phenom. I also had one on my Mars and my Mars 2, and I don't have one on the Mars 3 yet. I would like to get one, and then also at some point on this one, it just, no matter what, like every time I remove resin prints, there's a tendency to very easily scratch the build plate. And my original Mars, the build plate, I think the original Mars, I ended up putting a flex bit on it at some point, but the build plate was just so scratched up. And for the stuff I was doing, it wasn't really affecting the parts, but it looked really bad. I'm like hidden right behind the foam. Hey, what's going on, local maker? I have some engineering strength resin attached every time. Yeah, the blue resin's rad. I've seen some people use it for printer parts. It just looks really nice. And originally the blue resin, kind of like the name, it only came in blue, color tone, like a light blue, but they also have a completely translucent or clear version of it now. So you can either just print completely clear, or if you want to mix some other like alcohol inks or dyes, you should be able to do so. So this is kind of cool too. Let's see here. So obviously Elegoo, I guess I shouldn't say obvious because not everybody knows or has seen them, but Elegoo's 3D printers have pretty much always just had a rectangle top and maybe like a slightly curved corners, but they went with sort of this, like you can see it if I turn it a little bit like that, this sort of pattern on the top, which it's purely for looks. I don't see how it could serve any functional purpose, but it's kind of nice. Like the previous generation was certainly functional, but I wouldn't give it many style points. And I do think that when you spend money on a printer, if you can get a printer that also looks nice, like nobody is going to argue against that. And then this is something I like that's actually functional. And it looks like they've added a exhaust port, other side, an exhaust port to it. So if you want to hook up something like a fan or a tube and exhaust the resin printer fumes out, that's something that's super cool, because a lot of, so everyone has different sensitivities obviously to resins, right? But a lot of the higher strength and engineer resins do smell really bad. Like I was able to print with the fast resins in our living room with like the window open, no problem. But when I was printing with like the Tech blue specifically, it smelled really strong. I remember Aaron coming home from work and just saying like, it smells like really aggressive chemicals in our living room. So I like the idea of making it easier to vent fumes out. I mean, things like laser cutters have had an ability to vent smoke out through a similar tube extraction system for a long time. So I just think that's a positive thing. It's a box that sounds like Modbot. Hey, what's going on, tripods? I should be seeing you in like T-minus a week and a couple of days here. I am excited. My beds are scratched a lot. Yeah, I mean, luckily again, that unless you're doing really small miniatures, you shouldn't really be able to see it. No link for the draw yet. The link will go live in 1 hour and 8 minutes. I'm thinking I'm getting a 10 resin, but that is heat resistant for hot end fan ducts. Sick. I like the idea if you can print a fan duct in like a clear resin and then clear coat it so it actually stays clear and doesn't yellow. It would be very cool to be able to sort of see through the fan duct towards your nozzle and hot end. I think that'd be awesome. So much easier to remove the prints and you don't gouge the plate. Let's see, I sanded the bed of my Mars one. Sanding, so on some resins, specifically, they don't have as good adhesion, or if your build plate also gets jacked up, what you described, you can take some sandpaper and sand it, and it'll help remove some of the scratches, but it'll also give your plate a bit more bite, which is really nice. Everyone, magenta resin is vibrant. The new look makes it look so chunky. Yeah! I guess I don't have the old one anymore to compare. It didn't make the long trip. Good day, tripod. I can't remember, tripod, are you bringing stuff down to Murph? Like, are you gonna have a table, or are you just kind of going down there and pretty much walking around? If anyone is gonna be in Indiana, not this weekend, but next weekend for Murph, I will be there. I'm going there with Lightburn, which is the company I work for. There's actually, I think like 14 of us going down there, so we're going to have a booth, and I will be there. I will be there working the booth for some portion of each day. But then other than that, I will majorly be making my rounds, saying hello to people, and checking out, you know, all the awesome stuff that's there. Okay, let's move this a little bit to the side. I don't want to put this on the ground because the acrylic always seems to find all of my dog hair from the static. Let's go like this. Let's go like this. Cool. All right, so let's take some things apart. So build plate is pretty beefy, and it's all, it appears to be all aluminum. This part right here is aluminum. This is plastic, I lied. The knob up top is plastic. It's a really nice knob. Elegoo is the only manufacturer I can think of right now that sort of uses this ball pivot system. Most of the other manufacturers use like 2 screws on one side and 2 screws on the other to help you set the offset or level, or I guess it's not really leveling, align the build plate with your LCD screen. But Elegoo sort of always used this ball pivot joint, and it works really, really well. So I'm seeing that they stuck with that, and they kind of just refreshed it and made it a little bit chunkier. And the top of the build plate, which typically they've just left it with the standard like kind of silvery or gray aluminum color, but they've anodized it, which looks really sleek. And the bottom of it doesn't have any pattern like the Anycubic. Some of the Anycubic printers have like a laser etched checkered pattern, which is supposed to help with adhesion, which it totally does. I can vouch for that. But what Elegoo usually does, starting with the Mars 2, is that they sandblast it. So it doesn't look very textured, but there is a subtle texture on the build plate. So we'll see how well adhesion is, or how well adhesion works. Other than with some really obscure resins, haven't had too much trouble with adhesion in resin printing generally. So hopefully there won't be any issues. I don't anticipate that there will be. We'll take this off. I'll be bringing Sam Prentice, and he will also have a booth. Nice. That's awesome. I'm excited. It makes it not look so chunky. Oh, not look so chunky. The odor is the biggest reason. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I should try lasering my beds then. Shoot, you could see if you can etch a pattern into it. I have some transparent resin and it's too thick to use. I need to get a fresh bottle. Yeah, resin's interesting to me because I've left resin in the vat for, you know, up to a week, sometimes even 2 weeks, and it's been fine. I basically just get like a little silicone spatula, mix it up before and print, and it's fine. And then I've heard of some people storing resin bottles in like a dark, cool cabinet for up to a year without issues, but there was 1 or 2 bottles of resin that I had that weren't more than a couple of months old, and they were tightened, they were inside of a cabinet, and when I shook them up after I'd used them previously, I shook them up again to pour them in, there was chunks of resin that was semi-cured that came out, and so it was the whole bottle, or those 2 bottles were bad. So it's a little bit hit or miss, it seems like. You know, how long? I'll be heading out to Goshen this weekend, see everyone there from Earth. Awesome, Luke. Definitely come up and say hello. At least Saturday, we'll be having a bright red light burn shirt and sweater on, so I should be pretty easy to spot, along with the 13 other people that will probably be having the light burn shirts on. I'm gonna be trying making it since Goshen is only like 2-hour drive for me. If you get the chance to go, it's absolutely incredible. I haven't been since 2018, and I've heard it's only gotten better since, but like, it's just, it's amazing. It's all of the like garage hacker and tinkerers and a lot of the mod making companies. Voron's gonna be there. A lot of like other content creators are traveling for this. So I know Stefan from CNC Kitchen, Practical Printing's going, Nero's coming out from Canada, Steve Builds is coming from Voron and, you know, from his stuff. So there's gonna be a lot of awesome people, and just everyone in the community is gonna be there. It should be super cool. My video keeps stopping. Maybe make some YouTube shorts there. Maybe. I'm planning on just relaxing. I mean, I'll be working again with Lightburn. We're releasing Lightburn for Galvo or fiber lasers in like 2 weeks. So we're gonna be doing some cool stuff there with that. But maybe. My goal is kind of just to chill in my downtime, talk to some people, see some cool things, and then afterwards I will bring that information back and definitely talk about all the exciting things and kind of what maybe is coming on or what's coming out. Yeah, let's do a poll. Jerry says we'll go next year to meet everybody. Yeah, also ERF is coming up, which I haven't, I've never been to. I don't think I'm going this year because of everything going on, but ERF is also supposed to be super cool. Let's see. I'll just write, are you going to Nerf? We're in 2022. Ask your community. Lisa, you said, how is Delilah doing? She's doing great. She was actually trying to hang out in here for the entire stream, and I said no. She's getting a little bit more protective than she was at our last place. Like, she's sort of deemed this room as her domain, and so when Monkey comes in, she growls at him, and not too aggressively, but she's doing great. I have a photo. I wish I could post photos here. I actually showed G-Funny. I was doing some barbecuing yesterday. I don't have it on the computer. I do, actually. Let's see. 1 second, I'll show you this, and then we'll move on with the printing after. Let's see, save image. Okay, here we go. So this was my view yesterday. I was barbecuing, and Delilah was laying in the grass looking at me, and Monkey was also looking at me, and I was making just some quick hot dogs that we picked up over the weekend, and I spilled some of the hot dog juice or whatever, and Delilah licked the concrete clean. I don't think the concrete's ever been cleaner, but yeah, they're doing great. I haven't seen her run around as much as she's been running around this past week or so here in a really long time. So yeah, they're doing great, and we're also getting much more settled in, which is awesome. So thank you for asking. Let's see. Where did chat go? I lost chat. There we go. Let's see. Gonna try and go to work next year. Just couldn't catch the time off for work. Yeah, it's no worries. I'm proud to announce that Canada officially has a legal land border with Europe. The whiskey wars are over. Nice. We need a Rocky Mountain rep to festival now. You're up in this range. Weather's been crazy here, I will say. I have not, like when we got here, the day we got here, it was sun, it was rain, it was sun. Then we had thunderstorms. It's been hot, like 90s roughly a couple days, and then it was thunderstorms on Sunday. And then, and then we caught a perfect break, went on a hike, came back, raining some more. And then yesterday was like hot, crazy winds, a little bit of rain, and then winds again, and then sunny, and I'm barbecuing with blue skies. So it's been crazy. Delia's wondering why you took over her room. She chose it first, right? Oh, Rocky. Oh, I get what you're saying. Like a rep rap festival. That would be so cool to do something like that locally. Okay, let me get continuing here, as I always, always do this. What the heck? We're probably gonna have to take the bat off completely. So there is a card here. This must be the leveling card. Saturn 2 leveling instructional card. Take out the resin tape carefully. First fasten the rotary knob of the Saturn. Yada yada for the Saturn 2 leveling card between the plates. So yeah, this is the leveling card. And it's interesting. So the majority of the resin printers I've used, I just use a standard piece of printer paper to create the gap between the build plate and the LCD screen. But on some of these larger printers, you need, like, this is way thicker cardstock. And I learned the hard way because when I used a piece of printer paper on a larger machine, the print basically welded to the build plate. I mean, I was breaking my back trying to pry that thing off. So we will, I think first let's turn the printer on so that way we can lift up the build plate a little bit. Let's see. We can also, let's do a quick little look at what comes, let's see what comes in the box. About the same weather down here. Oh, you're in Utah. Oh, cool. You're my neighbor now. Well, want to do barbecue too. You've been in bed for the past 2 weeks, so not fit on and off. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, Zaran. I know you've been, like not feeling well, and I thought you were feeling a little bit better. So hopefully it's not too much longer until you're feeling much better. All right, so we got gloves, we got our flush cutters. Ooh, we've got our filter. We will plug this in just a second here. We've got, which this is kind of legit. Like the resin printers that have come with carbon filters have been sort of integrated into the frame. And there's not a huge issue with that other than it makes it near impossible to replace the carbon filter. So having this separate little, other than this potentially being a braking hazard if you're not careful, since it sticks up and plugs in via sort of like a USB style port, I like this much better. So it's cool to see that they're putting some more effort into the carbon filter because again, fumes are a huge issue for a lot of people, and the fact that they're finally addressing that, or companies are, after a couple of years is nice to finally see. So we've got a beefy power supply. This is a 24 volts, what are you, 24 volt, 3 amp power supply. Got some filters, got masks. We've got a little pamphlet. It's actually kind of nice. I like that they still include that. Looks like some spare parts, some small screws, some larger screws. Exactly as the USB port, it has the USB plug. Oh, okay, cool, so it is the USB port. I need to build a media cart for my garage. Media cart, like just something that you can move things around on. If you've got, depending on the size you're looking for, Zerant, there is the carts that I've been using. They are fantastic. They're called Bror, I believe, B-R-O-R, and they're IKEA. They're from IKEA. And so if you have an IKEA nearby or can order, we apparently don't have any in Idaho, which is one of my bigger bummers so far, because it seems like everything's here. They are fantastic, and they are ready to rock and roll pretty much. You need a leveling card because the bat is off the ground. It has feet. The reason is that is to get to the film screen. The gap. Yeah. The what was I gonna say? The times I've used, so again, for smaller printers like the Elegoo Mars 3, I'm still using an A4 printer paper, which is like the standard sheet of printer paper you can get here, and it works great. but for the larger machines, there's a bit more flex in the FEP, and so I think because of that, it needs just a little bit more gap. Otherwise, the first couple of layers, it hasn't caused issues as far as the printing goes, but the removal process, it just doesn't have enough of a gap, and it bonds really well to the aluminum build plate. So it's a really great way to damage your build plate or scratch it to all hell. Or what's happened to me in a couple instances is getting, because these are okay for, I guess, cleaning things off, but pretty much exclusively use metal spatulas to remove the prints, or if you can get like an a Wham Bam flex plate system. But when it's stuck really hard and you use this, one, you have risk obviously of damaging yourself if you're not careful, your hand or something, but the parts will pop off. And because the resin prints are generally a bit more brittle, you can very easily break the part, and I've broken the parts quite a few times. It's not, Jason. I promise. I feel like there's a lot less variables with resin 3D printing generally. Most people I know that get into resin printing or try it out, they're like, oh, that was way easier than I thought. What is this? Oh, this is the power cable. Okay, let's go ahead and get this plugged in. How's everybody doing? How's everybody's week been? I feel like last week I didn't get as much of a chance to sort of like catch up with everyone because the technical difficulties, my level of exhaustion, and just kind of everything else, but I feel much better this week. I actually got up this morning and did yard work. We have a yard. I haven't had a yard since I lived at my parents' house when it was now 7 or 8 years ago. And I used to mow the lawn there. And so we've got some grass here, and the lawnmower blade was set really, really low, and there was still some morning dampness in the grass. So I only got a chance to do the backyard, and the grass kicked my ass. Like, I thought I'd be able to get the grass completely done prior to us streaming today, and I did the backyard, and I told Aaron, I was like, all right, I'm gonna be mowing the lawn after. One thing I really like about this workbench too is that there is a power strip on it, and I know that you can easily add that to just about any workbench, but it is really handy. There's even 2 USB ports. So, all right, we got this plugged in. There's no switch on the back of this one. That's interesting. No switch on the back of this one. So let's go ahead and, oh, it already powered itself on. So what does the power button do? Oh, so that is this is the switch. Like, press in. It is turning on. I'm always behaving, come on. I already read a lot too about the printer and watched videos about it since I'm thinking of getting one too. Mom distracted me, I was trying to stay behaving. Hey, what's going on, Philip? Also, hey, what's up, Aaron? My wife recently got into resin 3D printing, and it was a rough start, but now she has it down way less than, yeah. So yeah, it's different. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely different. There's some crossover, like there's still layers, you're still using a slicer, but using a liquid and the curing process and the cleaning process and what geometries are okay and how to hollow, there's definitely things to learn. But I do think that if we look at the sort of grand scheme of the variables there are with FDM 3D printing, that resin 3D printing is much less. So it's super feasible, and I hopefully, like, my goal is always to try to be as realistic as possible, but I don't want to scare anyone away. Like, if I can do it, you can absolutely do it. As long as you've got enough patience and resilience, because failing is a part of learning, and I failed, I still fail, and it's a part of it. You learn what not to do, and that's how you learn, you learn what to do after it all. Oh wow, a riding lawnmower, I don't have that. Just imagine how much you really, that's why I looked for the house for the next move. I need to room as well. Yeah, our backyard isn't very large, but it's still plenty for us and for the dog and to be able to barbecue and all that stuff. Yeah, I can fit a pack of 10 units for my army on it. Okay, so let's check out the menu system here. Oh, actually, I'm gonna end the poll. I think we've let it go for long enough. So 90% of people aren't going, and 10% are, 31 votes. So that's what, 3 people? 9%. Is my math wrong? No, that's about right, 3 people. So what is that? It's me. No, so I didn't even vote. So it would be Luke, it would be G-Funny, and it would be Luke, G-Funny, and Tripods, right? That's probably the 3 that voted yes. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit on this. Let's see if I can get it to focus on a little bit more. Okay, so tool, manual, and let's raise, let's see, 10 mil. At first I wasn't sure if I liked these little red stripes, but they're kind of cool, and they're actually, I think they're silicone. It's definitely the most stylish of the Elegoo resin printers, at least that I've gotten my hands on. Okay, so I think we're good on that. Let's go ahead, let's actually zoom out a bit. I cannot see chat from over here, so I will go back over there in a second here, but let's go ahead, take the bat off. Big knobs. Hey, what's going on, Pi? It's all about 95% chance. You monster, pull the plastic protection. I will. Is there a plastic protection on? Oh, there's one on top, is there as well, isn't there? Or is it on the bottom? No, there's only a plastic on the bottom. There's none on the top. It doesn't look like. Oh, you're saying. You're saying to pull the plastic protection on the screen. I'm gonna do a full video on this, and I was hoping to get a sick little slow-mo of that, but for your viewing pleasure, I will peel this for you all. Ready? Let's see if we get the mic close enough. That was very satisfying. Okay, so it says, please peel off this film before printing, so we will peel off the screen protector on the actual screen here. I didn't actually see that, Zara, when I first looked at it, but you apparently did. You're welcome. That was more fun than I thought it was gonna be, yeah, it's a gorgeous day, Pi. I was just saying that I was doing yard work this morning, my first time mowing the lawn. And then right before the stream we went and I bought an edger. So when the stream ends, I will be out there and I will be doing, so we'll take this one off too. I will be edging and mowing the front lawn, which I haven't done in a really long time. And it's actually enjoyable. The only thing is that the previous tenants had a gardener and they were doing it every single week and they weren't mowing it very low. And so I went out this morning with the blade on pretty low and it was still a little bit damp, the grass, and the grass just totally kicked my butt. Like I thought I'd be able to have it all done, and the answer was definitely not. So I will be finishing up the mess that I created or started as soon as the stream ends later on. Okay, so next thing should be to put the build plate on here, loosen it up a little bit. There we go, locks in place. So we've got, what, 2 linear rails, pretty beefy linear rails. This is a really, it's really rigid. Like, not that any of their previous ones were not, but there's a thick aluminum plate. The arm is full aluminum. This is all aluminum. The only plastic is this little knob on top, which is also quite thick injection molded plastic. Better late than never. Hey, what's going on, Skydown? Did it come with a screen protector? Yes, it did. I don't think it came with one to put on after. I've never used them. Some people swear by putting screen protectors on the screen, and I'm not saying there's any reason why you can't, but I just haven't, and I've never had an issue because of it. Zarin says that's a built-in screen protector, so maybe there is one below it. It's definitely not easily visible from what I'm seeing here. So if I'm not mistaken, I'm just gonna double check to make sure nothing has changed. We're loosening the 2 screws. We are moving it to 0. When the build plate pattern stops, using tighten the screws, we just tighten the screws in the order of the serial number. So first, okay, cool. So yeah, we will grab, where are the tools? There they are. You're more than welcome to come over to my yard if you need practice. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure I'm loving it that much that I'm wanting to expand my lawn mowing business. It's funny, I was actually just telling Aaron though that my first job, if you will, was lawn mowing. I was probably 15 or 16, I think, and I had a general allowance, but I think it was like $6 a week or something like that for just, I don't know, doing the stuff around the house. And it obviously wasn't a lot, and I wanted to be able to do stuff with my friends, and so me and okay, so we're gonna go ahead, So I explain what I'm doing here. We're gonna place this underneath here, so that way it will, when this homes, create the gap that we need. And then we're going to go, does it say just to press the home button? Yes, so we'll hit the home button on here. So that'll drop it down. We went around to the neighbors when I was like 15 or 16 and said, hey, like we're, wanting to mow lawns. This is our price, and our price was based off of what they told me they were paying the gardener here, which was $40 a week. We were severely undervalued. Granted, this was 15 years ago, but it was definitely undervalued. But we got like 6 or 7 neighbors that agreed to have us mow their lawn front and back, and so we had no vehicle. We just pushed the lawnmower from our driveway up and down like 2 blocks to wherever we were mowing the lawn, and we did that for a couple of years. So it was kind of fun. So, okay, so the things that I want to do is I'm gonna do my best to, let's see if I can kind of show this a little bit. Okay, so the goal, there's a couple questions I saw actually. This is a 9H, just like the solid one you buy for your phones. These big chunky screws. Yeah, this thing has beefy, really beefy screws. Price on this one is $550, Lisa. So they had the early bird price, so it was $500. That sold out. Then the pre-order price is $550. I don't know what it'll be after that. Okay, so it says normal price will be $600. Pre-order batches for August and September still open. I had 2 rings in FEP, screen protector to the rescue. Also, oh, 2 rips in your FEP. Gotcha. I've also never used Rain-X, but I've heard good things about that as well. So yeah, there was one resin printer I had where I started to see like stress marks on the FEP. So in those instances, that might be really good. Also, because of the resin 3D printer, because of the tension on the FEP, the humidity, the temperature you're printing in, it's not like there's a lot of external factors that could also slightly skew your resin 3D printing experience. I've always resin 3D printed indoors in like a climate/temperature controlled environment, so I haven't experienced a lot of some of the things that some people might that are printing in their garage or somewhere where there's just more variation. So all I'm going to do right now is try my best to get the front of the build plate lined up with the front black line right here. There's typically enough of a gap between the build plate and the vat where if you're not perfectly parallel, you're still going to be okay, but you obviously don't want it completely crooked, because then when it homes, you run the risk of it actually homing on top of your the vat, which would not be good. So I'm just going to hold it in place like this, and then kind of use one hand to apply light pressure just to keep it from shifting around. And then they say specifically to start with the front screw, so we will go ahead and tighten this. I'm just going to use the long end, and then we'll do the same on this side as much as I possibly can. And then we will come back and we will use the short end to put a little bit more force into it. So the plus about the Elegoo style of adjustment is with this sort of knob, it's really easy to set. The downside of it is if one of these screws comes loose, which I've had it happen before on, I think the original Saturn when I was putting a lot of pressure into it, your plate can shift, and you would typically notice that happened, but if you don't notice that it happens, it could be bad for the printer. So you definitely want to make sure that these are nice and tight. Okay, so now that we've got that, we should be good to just basically raise it up. So we will go ahead and lift this up. Just hit it a bunch of times. Make sure I didn't do anything incorrect based off their instructions. Touch the up button, and now the build on. Leveling is complete. Put resin tank. Yeah, so we're good to go. So let's go ahead and load this up. Yeah, I'm in a very dry climate in Vegas. Yeah, so I'm sure that definitely makes a huge difference. I'll probably end up getting a flex plate for this. Right now, the only resin 3D printers I have are the Mars 3 and this one. All the other ones either got donated, sold, given to friends, or whatever. Before the move, I just didn't have space to take the majority of them. So we don't have a lot of resin printers right now. That looks like the piece of mark. Okay, so we are going to raise this up couple more clicks. You know what? You know what we should probably do before we print is put the stinking carbon filter in it, right? That'd probably be a good idea. So we'll put this here. We will put these back in. Also, one of the mistakes I've done quite a few times is thinking that I have tightened these fully down, and I have not. And so with these, like, these are the only 2 screws that hold your vat in place. And so there's been times where they're almost tight, but not fully seated. And when it's printing, you can't really tell, but your print will end up failing. Basically, there will either be a shift or it will pull away completely from either the FEP or the build plate. So these 2 screws are very important to make sure they're seated correctly and nice and tight. If you need space, I will gladly take this off of you. Do you know how much shipping would be from here to you for this thing, Zara? It'd probably cost more than the unit itself, man. I have Wham Bam on 2 resin printers, none on the Anycubic Photon MX. It's fine without it. Yeah, the Photon, the Photon X, I had the 6K, but I think the X also has that sort of checkered etch pattern, right? Okay, that's plenty. So we're gonna turn this off. So I don't want to plug in the, I want to plug in this guy. I feel much better, so much better about this week's stream than last week's, man. I really wanted to stream because we missed the week before, but there was just so many technical difficulties that really bummed me out. Okay, open the cover on the top to take out the activated carbon, open the packaging to activate it. So this, you guys can see, okay. Like that. It's in a plastic cover, so we will, start off by ripping. Oop, that is messy. That is super messy. Don't dump that upside down. It is very, very messy. Okay. Yeah, all over my hands. So the majority of it is just the carbon. The bottom side of it just has the little USB port and a fan that's going to be moving air around. So we will go ahead and pop this back in. Oh man, God, I already got dirt all over it. Charcoal. It's alright, I'll clean it off later, I suppose. Okay, what else? Put the cover back on and plug it in. Okay, so we will go ahead and plug it in. There's just a tiny little cover right here. No, working on green and red. Resin video now, lightsabers and... Oh, nice! Okay, so... Ooh, there's a little bit, I don't know how well you'll be able to see that. You probably won't, but there's actually foam that kind of tore off inside of the USB port. Let's see if I can, yeah, I got it out. Cool, and we will go ahead and plug it in, make sure it goes in the right direction, like this. Yeah, so I like this, but I also wish it was fastened better. As someone that has damaged 1 to 2 USB sticks in their life by having it sticking out the front end of their computer and being, you know, having a quick movement and kicking the flash drive or, you know, damaging it, I just can see either taking the lid off or something like that and it bumping this. So I like the idea of it, but I almost wish it was some sort of a thread or that it butted up completely with this and had some sort of attachment point. But it's probably, I'm probably being a bit overcritical, but just knowing myself, I wouldn't be surprised if out of all the units that go out there, somebody ends up doing something like that. So that's one thing I'm noticing. All right. So we're basically ready to throw some resin in it. I found my gloves, and it came with a little bit of gloves, so we'll use the ones that came with, I guess, first. So let's vote. The color options, I already know what I'm printing, but I will have everybody vote on which one they want. So let's do a quick little poll here to see. Velcro strip would be awesome. Yeah, Lisa, I agree. Somebody already made a clamp mod for it to secure it. Sweet. Yeah, just something like that. I just think that, again, the bottom's fine. The bottom's plenty secure, but you hit it from up here. I mean, you can see it. I don't know how well you can see it from that camera, but it's already got a little wobble from just tapping it. So if you're taking the lid off and it comes off at an angle, I could just see it over time, it really wearing down that port. So Is the table shaking or have the wobble pops got to me already? Table's probably shaking, let me see. Yeah, it's not the table that's shaking, it's a webcam that's mounted very high up on a very small piece of metal. So it's not, I don't know what the wobble pops are, but I don't think, hopefully they haven't gotten to you already. Okay, so we are going to vote. The color options are, one second here. Oops. Which resin color to use? And we've got a green, which I believe is a pretty damn bright green, or we've got a gray. And gray does show detail typically better, but the green is also super cool. So let's vote. It's 12:57, and we will let it run for 3 minutes, and then we will pour some resin into the vat. We'll switch cameras too, so that way nobody thinks that they've got the adult beverages. Okay, I figured as much, but I don't want you thinking you've got the wobble pops unless you got the wobble pops. Okay, so back it up a little bit like that. So we have got gray and we have got green. Green is winning so far with 75%. And while we're doing this, I guess I'll show you. So I really have been, I'm sure like many other people, I know some people in the Discord have been talking about it, but me and Aaron just finished the like first half of Stranger Things season 4, and I am completely obsessed with the villain Vecna. And so there are 2 models I found. I found this one, which this looks aggressive, right? Like this is a lot of small pieces, and so the model itself wouldn't, I mean, it could be pretty big, but it would be a lot of different parts. Like I think it says it's a 1/9 scale, 18 parts. So that is a big and a lot of parts. And also there's no feedback as to whether it actually fits together or works well. And it's a $20 model, I just realized, holy crap. Is there any sort of, great. Colts doesn't seem to have a very, oh, there we go. Yes, oh, there's okay, so there's little attachment points. So this is one option. Let's look at his head. Ooh, spooky. Or there is a bust of Vecna, which is much cleaner, much simpler, and also $3 instead of $20. I want to do the Vecna, I want to do the Wexter one as well. I was hoping that he sold it separately, but it looks like the only way to get it is to join Patreon. Yeah, me and Aaron are super excited. Okay, Lisa says bust. We'll probably vote for the bust. Okay, so we're gonna end the votes. Green looks like it clearly won. So we will end that, 23 votes. Yeah, so green won, we'll do green. And then let's do one more vote on, what Vecna bust to print. Yeah, I think the bust looks awesome too. We should probably do that. Bust or full figure SK community. Okay, so we'll let that run for like 2 minutes. I didn't realize that the full bust, or not the full bust, that the full character was like $20. Not that we can't do that, but it is more than I had anticipated. So, but we'll see. If we vote it, I will do it because I put it up as an option. So, okay, let's go ahead and get this opened up. I also like that there is a max line. I think that should also be a standard. I, knock on wood, have never put so much resin in that when the build plate hums, it's overflowed onto the desk. But I'd be lying if I didn't say I haven't gotten very, very close. The Wexter base has some great detail in it. I like the Wexter one too. I wish that he had it separately. Okay, it looks like we're doing the bust. You know what, I always say do as I say, not as I do. Sometimes, well, quite a lot of times when I'm pouring resin in, I don't have gloves on because I'm just touching the outside of the bottle, but because I want to do my best to set a good example, like the resin is pretty nasty stuff. I have seen, I think in like Reddit posts, or a post, like what can happen if you get some on your hands and get exposed to UV light, and it is nasty. Like, I mean, serious chemical burn. So definitely want to do your best to get in the habit of handling it with care. I feel like Dr. Modbot again. All right, let's shake this up. Oh, there is a seal. Is there a peel? There's not a peel on this guy. Well, I'm glad I put the gloves on because I'm actually gonna get resin on my hand. I'm gonna throw the cover right into the trash so that way it doesn't get on anything else. Cover is not coming off as nicely as I had hoped. Okay, well, that'll do. It'll be okay. Crossing over. Okay, pouring in. Such a cool green. It's so cool. Just gonna fill. I mean, that was quite a lot. Granted, this is a very large vat. That was probably over half the bottle. That was a lot of resin. So, taking this glove off because I did get resin on it and closing this up. You have to cure the cover before putting it in the trash. It's hazard. Cure. I'll take it outside after if you use it, I promise. You should be able to get some pretty inexpensive ones. I mean, obviously it depends on whether you are wanting large size, like large build volume or not. I'm taking the gloves, are getting hot, they're getting steamy. But yeah, you can get some fairly small resin printers for pretty inexpensive. Okay, we're doing the bust. So we will end poll. Let me purchase this really quick. Download. View cart and check out. Proceed to download. Sign Google. We'll also get the giveaway going for the spool of Polymaker filament in T-minus 26 minutes. Could you print it hollow and pour black paint? I've never done that. I know that. Oh, why is his name slipping my mind right now? It was just his birthday. I just wished him happy birthday. No, it's not right. I'll find out in like 10 seconds. Let's see. I'm really bad with names. It's not one of my favorite quality. Ooh, I looked up filling resin and it was not. It's a lot of teeth. Filling resin print. There we go. Andrew Sink. Oh my God, I don't know why it wasn't coming to me. So if anyone hasn't seen this, we'll take a look. All right, let me make sure I purchased the. Did I buy it? No. PayPal, complete purchase. Okay. Confirmation number. Select the option of your choice. Download your 3D models. Yeah, I gotta show you guys this really quick here because if anyone hasn't seen it, it is very, very cool. Okay, so Andrew Sink, who is a very awesome and very talented individual, did this, and he basically printed this, was it Halo? I can't remember if it was Halo, it was just no. But basically, oh, it's actually, he used the exact same resin too, which is kind of funny. It is Halo, right? No, Doom. Is it Halo? Doom Slayer, all right. But yeah, so he printed it, but he printed it hollow, like you would do a lot of times with kind of larger models. And then he gets a syringe and takes some just cheap like black paint that you can get from anywhere, I think like Walmart. Yeah, literally apple barrels at Walmart. And injects it into the foot. And it fills the inside of the print. And so it gives it it's messy, but it gives the model a dark inside. It's freaking rad looking. Like here's the final shot. It's just cool. It's just super cool. So yeah, I've never done this. I've never done this before, but it would be fun to do. Okay, let's go back to side camera for 1 second here. Is the Anycubic Mono X any good? I only had the 6K, but the 6K and the regular Mono X are very, very similar other than LCD screen. I think like one or so other thing. And it was a really solid resin printer. So yeah, to be perfectly honest with you, most of the, let me get chat, I can't see. Most of the main companies that make resin printers, so like, I haven't had any bad experiences with the Elegoo printers up to this point. They've all been really consistent and really great. The Anycubic ones, I haven't used as many Anycubic ones, but the ones I have used has been great. Epax has been awesome. Creality's really, well, Creality was question mark. The hardware was great, software was not. And then they upgraded the firmware and software, and then it ended up being awesome. And then the only other ones that are sort of like question marks are Longer was okay. And, oh, what was the other one? There was another company that don't even exist, Alpha-Wise. They were, I think, my first resin printer before the Mars, maybe. And that was the 420p one, and I don't think they exist anymore. I'm pretty sure that they were like a GearBest, if anyone remembers GearBest, like a white labeled GearBest brand, I'm pretty sure. I have to Taco Bell on my way home. I feel really too old, but I wanted it. I love Taco Bell sometimes, Lisa. Posted a Vecna bust on Discord live stream channel. It looks really. Oh, I just bought one. I'll take a look at it though. I'm pretty sure we're sticking with this one, Zarin, because I've already committed. I downloaded the STL and purchased it. Live streams. Ooh, that is a nice looking one. That is a sick looking one. Ah, dang it. Well, I still like the one we got. That is a really cool looking one. Where's the one I got? So the main difference is the one you posted has a lot more to it, like chest and stuff. That is a really cool looking Vecna bust. All right, well, we're going with the one that I got, but I really like that one. Really like that one. So anyways, let's go ahead and plug in. I don't think I have any resin slicer software on here, so let's see what they include on the flash drive. And then I'm also gonna move, I'm gonna put this back on top for now, because it is taking up a lot of desk real estate. Okay. So let's see what came on here. Always check MMF before cults. I am, in this instance, Darren, I didn't actually, I didn't go to cults. I just went on Google and typed in Stranger Things Vecna busts, and it just so happened to be what came up. When I buy premium STLs or paid STLs, I usually do go to my mini factory, but I have gotten a couple that are specifically on cults that I really like. But generally, I do think I like my mini factory better. Okay, so Elegoo Saturn Rook model. So there is the Rook model, but I don't want to. Chitu box, Mac, Windows. Do I have Chitu? I do not have Chitu on here, so we'll install it really quickly. It's been a while. Do you want to restart the resource manager to achieve thumbnail effect? Not now. I'm curious as to what the last resin printer was that I tested out on the channel. It might not have been as long as I think it's been, but it feels like it's been a while. Okay, so this was really the last time I think I resin printed was 4 months ago. So it's been FDM land. I don't know why it's been so long since I resin printed. I guess there's been a lot of stuff going on with FDM printing. So okay, it works perfectly. Detected a new version. Oh, I guess we'll download the latest. Stable. View new supported firmware. No. I don't want to subscribe to your newsletter. Oh. You have to sign in to download. Okay, I'm gonna just go with what they included. I don't feel like dealing with it right now, but there is a newer version, it looks like, apparently. So see if I remember even how to use this. So we need to add a machine profile, Elegoo Saturn 2. There we go. As far as resin goes, resin type, normal, print. I don't like ads in Lychee. I like, yeah, wait, when was the update, Carl, for Lychee? I do like Lychee a lot. And towards the end, when I was resin printing last, that was kind of what I was leaning towards because it was just much more open and was kind of becoming the Cura of, or Prusa Slice, whatever you want to call it, of the resin 3D printing world, which I was pretty happy with. Since I'm working with yellow and green translucent resins, if I use paint inside, we'll plug you and Andrew sync in the video. Great ideas. Oh, sweet, sounds great. No need to plug me, Jerry. If you do end up using it, just plug Andrew. It was his thing. So yeah, his video is awesome. And again, I think that he doesn't make videos very consistently, but I really like the stuff that he's come up with and created. We're gonna leave all the settings completely default in here. I don't want to change anything. So we will do this, and then let's go ahead and grab vacuum up bust. Vacuum bust. There's two. So there's an SLA and an FDM version. I'm curious to see what they look like. So this is the FDM version, and this is it just more detail? Does it look more detailed? Does this one look more detailed than that? I wonder if there's something else that I'm missing. No hollowed. They look, I mean, I know they're the same model, but I don't see a whole lot more detail on the SLA specific one. I wonder what they, okay, maybe I'm just not seeing it, but we'll go with the SLA one. And then I think we will print the stand in the same go. And because I don't have a flex plate, I really don't want to print flat against the build surface because it becomes a nightmare to remove. So I'm going to probably leave the stand completely solid because I want some weight to it to be able to support the model. So we'll pivot it like that, and then turn this guy like that. I'm actually thinking about rotating him with his head. Oops. I don't like how every time you click away, it gets rid of that mode, but think about doing it like that actually. So that way the supports are all on the back side. I'm gonna straighten him out a little bit. Print the stand in FDM. That's not a bad idea. it will also be much more, hey, what's going on, Mo? It's also not a bad idea. Yeah. I can do the stand-in FDM because again, there's no detail to it and kind of wait. Okay, fine. We'll do the stand-in FDM. That's fine. That's not a bad idea. I like that idea. Save the detail for... Okay, so I definitely want to hollow this guy out. It's been a while. Let's see. Hollow. Wall thickness 1.2 millimeters. Is that sufficient? I don't remember what I used to do. It's a pretty big model. I feel like I should probably go bigger. Let me see what it looks like if I start. That looks pretty sufficient to me. And then holes, I at least want, usually do like a 3 mil hole. I'm gonna do 3 so that way it's easy to drain it. And then sometimes I do one towards like the back of the head or the other side so that way I can get all the resin out. But I think in this case, I won't. We'll just leave it like that. Oh, also, I don't know why it does. I guess maybe if you want to use the hole that you create to then plug the hole after it prints, when you go to add a hole, you can click on this, which is keep the hole, which I did not mean to do. And it basically creates, it keeps these little holes, like exactly the punch outs. I'm not gonna be using these though. It's actually not, that's not a bad idea either. Yeah, I'll do that. Good calls, right? So Zeron said to put a big hole where the stand slides in because you won't see it, and that's a valid point. This whole area, because we're gonna be, I'm gonna FDM print it out, but because we're going to be using this large piece to go in there, we can create a hole like that size, and then it'll be really easy to get IPA inside of there, or isopropyl alcohol, and clear it out. So we'll do that then. We'll go like really big with the hole. Let's see. We don't want to keep the hole. We can even go bigger than 10. Let's go like a 12 mil hole. Yeah, now it'll be really easy to get, and I can probably be able to slide this. It'll be much easier for the alcohol to get in and out of that hole, that cavity. Because I've had times where if you don't have large enough holes, one, it gets really hard for the alcohol and the uncured resin to get in and out. But I've also had times where if the holes are too small, that they'll actually kind of cure on themselves, and then you can't get any of the alcohol out, and so you have to like drill a hole into the model. So those probably good calls, right? Especially in this one. We're doing the bust specifically is from where is the artist? Creator. 3DOM sculpts. I don't know how you say it. Either 3DOM sculpts or 3D sculpts. This is the creator. I guess I'll paste it in chat, but I can link it later on too as well. So that way if anyone watches this and they won't, and they want to print it, they can do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do supports. I am going to do medium. Man, I don't remember. It's been a minute. Pretty sure I was doing medium supports before. Let's just see. Let's see what it creates on its own. I don't hate that. I remember I used to edit the wrap portion of it though, so that way, oh, that's not too bad either. So, because the spatula gets really tough to get under the model, and so having it where it's sort of at this 45 degree makes it where it's a lot easier to get the lip of the spatula underneath there. The base would look good in a silk black. I don't think I have a silk black, but I definitely have a rad I have some rad filament. All of the filament's still boxed up except for like 3 spools that I used for a recent video, which is like a silver PLA, orange TPU, and then a blue PETG, an old, right? Yeah, old eSun PETG that I've had for a really long time. But I've got some, I did bring a lot of the filament. Looks like supports are in the drain hole. Yeah, usually supports do go inside of the model. Usually I leave it. But I'm just thinking right now, because it's a translucent resin, maybe we don't want to leave it. I'm trying to think, if I do supports, okay, I'm gonna try one thing here really quickly. Curious if I go back to this, I'm gonna change order of operations and see if I go, I wanna get this printing here, but let's see, so if I go like this, rotate, and nope, come on, back now. Okay, so let's see now if I do supports. If I do them beforehand and then hollow after, I'm curious to see what it does. So let's go platform. I don't remember. I think that will probably be sufficient. But now let's see if we go back here. We go to hollow, 2 mil. Cool. So that's, I guess that's the way. If you don't want supports inside, generate supports first and then hollow out after. And so then we'll go back to the hole, create the large hole, blast that right there. Looks fine. Should be ready to rock and roll. I'm a little bit worried. Like part of me thinks I should add a couple more hull supports. In the hollow section, you can select no supports. Where is that? In the hollow section. Oh, no, so, oh, I think you're saying in the hollow, let me see here. Infill structure. Oh, that's infill structure. I don't see it. My bad. Oh, okay, no worries. Yeah, I get confused too between this and Lychee because I bounce back and forth. Well, I don't now, but I used to bounce back and forth quite a lot. I say we just send it. I am going to do one last thing though, because I'm slightly paranoid. I just want to give a little bit more supports on the edge. I'd rather have a couple too many supports than be picking Vecna up out of the vat. Okay, let's just roll it. I think I'm good with this. Gosh, I had to get my Mars 2 Pro updated. I didn't even think G2 box will work with my printer anymore. I haven't updated it since release. You want the STL, Mo? I posted it just a moment ago if you scroll up. Okay, let's try to slice it now. If it fails, it will have been my fault. I'm certain of it. So print time 5 hours and 24 minutes. That sounds great. Let's save it to USB flash drive. Vecna. Bam. The other busted. Get out of here, Zarent. If you had told me during the vote, I would have considered switching over. I like that bust a lot. Not that I don't like this one, but the detail on the chest is really freaking cool. I still think this one's gonna look absolutely awesome though. But yeah, that one's sick. I also really like Wexter's one that he released just the other day for his Patreon. It's another very cool one. There's a lot of really talented 3D sculptors out there. It blows my mind. Oh, I was being that guy. I fell for it. I'm so used to it. Clipper. Somebody told me, so there's a company, oh, what's their name? It's been years. There was a company that has a resin 3D printer. We've got story time for a minute here while it's exporting. That the LCD screen, instead of being air-cooled, is liquid-cooled. And they apparently have some sort of crazy light source. And so it allows you to cure, like blast it with such aggressive light speed that you're sort of almost pulling the resin out of the vat in real time. Ah, man, the monster's getting me. I never got a chance to test it or use it, but I have a feeling that either it didn't work as well as advertised or something happened, because I think that in 2 years' time or 3 years' time, that technology would have probably surfaced a bit more, because there hasn't really been so much thing. I don't think there's Wi-Fi for this. That's one of my other, I don't want to give away all of my things, like, or the features that I'm wanting to see in resin printers, but Wi-Fi is one of them. One of the biggest things, please turn off music in the background. I can't turn off the music in the background because I really like the music in the background, but for you, I can go to some softer music if that makes you happier. Let's see. One of these playlists is really chill. Or there's like a funk one I like too. Yeah, I can't do no music. I like this one. It's funny, I think it's the first music complaint I've gotten. Different strokes though. Yeah, so the Creality Hallett line, like the Hallett one specifically, yeah, no worries, no worries. I don't mind changing it up. I have to have some music in my ear too, and if I turn off the music for the stream, it turns off my music, and then it feels very weird. The Hallett one had really great wireless connectivity, which I was incredibly thankful for. It's a small thing, but I just don't, like, moving flash drives back and forth every time you want to print is not ideal to me. Is it the end of the world? No, I've gotten used to it, and that's also how 3D printers all were when I, first started, that there was no Octoprint, at least not readily available, and pretty much everything was like that. But I really like the wireless capabilities of, most 3D printers now. So I don't know why, Lisa, I don't have an answer. It would be really simple to put like an ESP32 chip in here and, have some sort of basic portal to send things over. So I don't know if it's like a limitation of Chitubox since they're using Chitu boards, since they do have Ethernet. This one actually does not have Ethernet, but a lot of the Chitu boards do have Ethernet. So yeah, I don't know. It's a great question. Okay, powering on. Let's go to second. Take this off for the initial drop, because there we go, the carbon filter. A small bit. All right, plugging this in. Print. They definitely went with a different screen style on this. It kind of requires a little bit more push, but I like it. It feels almost, I don't know how to describe it, like a bit more, industrial is not the word. It just feels stronger, like a tougher screen. It's probably whatever cover system they have on here. Like, it's just, the screen is behind some sort of a protective layer, and I kind of dig it. So, okay, let's move this here. And we will hit print, and hopefully nothing bad happens. So we can see also in the corner, maybe you can see it, the carbon filter is turned on as well. It feels more premium, yeah, I guess that's the word. But it feels more secure. Like, the regular resin LCD screens are sort of, they feel more exposed, and when you press on them, you can really sort of feel them pushing in. Not all of them, but this definitely is a different LCD screen than on any of the previous Elegoo resin printers I've used, and I think it feels nicer. We'll go with more premium. Bubbles. Cool. We are hopefully printing. Cool. I think I will lid it for now, because there's so many bright lights and open window stuff in here that for the resin. We'll cover it up, and then in a few we can take a look after some layers and make sure that it's working and sticking correctly. Just play some Toby Fox? Well, I don't know what Toby Fox is. I just use Poker Face. This is Elegoo resin, yeah. This is their just standard, show you. Just their standard stuff. I've used Elegoo resin before, but it's been a really long time. But yeah, I got the green and their gray, just knowing, when this showed up, I was looking around and a lot of my resins, I either donated them because I knew they were sitting for a while, and so a lot of my friends that were local, that were doing a lot of resin printing, I said, hey, if you guys are printing, you know, use this stuff. Because I just didn't want it sitting for a long time. And then this showed up and I was looking around, I was like, I don't really have any good resins to print or test print stuff out for, you know, the testing and the video on this. So I will do a full video on this. Resin printers are a little bit interesting for review's sake. Like, I'll probably do just a handful of sort of complex models on top of this one and just go over my basic thoughts on how the machine works. I will say, so you can probably hear that fan. I'm putting the mic really close to the exhaust opening on this. I gotta say, this is a very, let me take my headphone off. This is a very quiet resin printer. A very, very quiet resin printer. A lot of times the larger resin printers have beefier fans because the LCD screens are larger, therefore generating more heat. This is super, super quiet. Like, the Phenom sounded like a jet taking off. I mean, when I was printing, and that one wasn't a monochrome screen, although it did really create some gorgeous prints, it was so loud, obnoxiously loud. Well, this is a pretty damn quiet, it's a pretty dang quiet resin printer, which, you know, might not be that important to some people, especially if it's in your garage, but for me, considering I do a lot of, you know, video work that requires audio and stuff like that, and it's gonna be in here, at least for a while, it's definitely a huge plus to me. Bets on % chance of first success. I would give this a 80 to 90% chance of success. I have had some definite failures with resin 3D printing. If this fails, I would say the reason it fails is because of my supports not being, I'm with medium supports, and I can't remember whether I normally do medium or large for a bust of this size. It's been a minute, and I also can't remember from Lychee versus Chitu the different support settings I typically use. So if it fails again, I think it's due to my support settings. I am very confident that the adhesion to the build plate will be fine and that the printer will perform fine. Just because Elegoo knows what they're doing. Like, they just really do. So we'll see. I could be wrong though. Maybe I said that and I have cursed it. What's going on, Bear Squad? You are right on time. The print just fired off and we are starting a giveaway right now. So let's see. I'm used to, no, here we have snappy touchscreens at McDonald's. Really? We do not have snappy touchscreens at McDonald's. I'm using Anycubic standard since I get them 3 for 2. Where do you get 3 resin bottles for the price of 2s, right? Because McDonald's spends more on tech than employees. Yeah, I said it before, but McDonald's was my first job, and I learned a lot. And my team was awesome, but I definitely I don't miss that. Can you hear the FEP pop? That's a sign of it failing or not. Usually you can hear the FEP peeling, and that's how I know it's working, but let me see. Yeah, it took a minute. It's still doing, how many burn-in layers? 1 second here. We're gonna get the giveaway going in like 2 seconds, I promise. So I'm just curious to see how many burn-in layers. Where did the stream go? There it is, there you are. Saturn, print, resin, print. Layer height, bottom layer count, only 5 layers. How long are they? No. Bottom exposure time, 30 seconds. Interesting. Okay, now I think that was probably the first layer, or last burn-in layer. Yeah, now it's moving along every 2 seconds. Yeah, I think it's peeling sound is good. Yeah. Nice cut. My haircut? It was the last one I got in California before I left. I called my hair cutter up and said, hey guys, or hey guys, her name was Lisa. I said, hey Lisa, I'm leaving in 3 days forever. Can you cut my hair please? And so she got me in. Okay, anyways, let's get the giveaway going. I'm gonna go back to the side camera while I set this up. I had it pulled up. Copy link, get shortened link, copy link. Okay, that should be the link. All right, so link is pinned in the chat. You should see it in a second. Sometimes it takes a second to pop up, but if you fill out that form, we are giving away a spool of Polymaker filament, international. We will draw in roughly 30 minutes, and it's anywhere in the world, free shipping. So fill it out, get your chance to win. Carl and Sem are the last 2 people in chat, and they have both won. So the chances of winning are pretty high, considering we do it once every week, thanks to Polymaker just being absolutely awesome. And if you do want to support the channel, hey, inappropriate. Thank you so much for the $6.69. I really appreciate it. I haven't seen you in chat. Are you just showing up, or have you been hanging out, having the stream on, working on things? Yeah, if you do want to support the channel and you like or want to try out Polymaker filament, there is an affiliate code in the description of the video, as well as Chatbot will post it every once in a while. And a portion of that does go to helping the channel. So I know Lisa placed an order a couple of weeks ago, I think, and it's now in there. So if that's something you want to do to support the channel and you want to get their filament, then it does also help out. I've been busy the last few weeks, just got here. Well, hopefully good things, man. You definitely came. I was really happy because last week's stream was, let's go full screen here for a bit. Last week's stream, cool, people are entering in. I see 24 people so far. Last week's stream was our first stream here. We got here on Monday and unpacked everything. Then I spent the better part of Tuesday just like getting the things ready in here. And moments before going live, Erin was bringing me food, and it took, like, her trip just took longer. We're still learning the area around here. And so the food came after the stream started, and then the audio wasn't working right, the music, the mic wasn't working right, and the video picture wasn't working right. So we still streamed for a couple of hours, and it was still nice to see everybody, but like today I felt much better about, YouTube doesn't linkify the affiliate part of the affiliate link? What do you mean, Thibon? YouTube doesn't linkify the affiliate part of the affiliate link. Hey, Bigger Fish, thank you so much for becoming a member. You should now have some pretty cool little Modbot emojis that I had made a while ago. Thank you very much, I appreciate that. Okay, so we're at 1% still. I feel like, I don't know why I was expecting it to show a bit more, but we will pause it in a little bit longer and take a look at it. I wish I could get filament locally after order online. Yeah, I don't think there's anywhere out here that you can get it locally either. Pi, do you know of any local filament places you can buy? The printer looks really attractive. It's a really good looking resin printer. I have got to say, I feel the same way. Like it's a nice looking machine. I like Elegoo. I mean, I think that from the beginning, they have put out a quality machine. Like the first machine I had was, I think, the AlphaWise, I don't know what it was called, but it was that 420p machine. And then after that, I went to the Mars 1, and not that the alpha wise didn't work and get me my bearings, but like it was a night and day difference. And the Elegoo original Mars, without the monochrome screen, and I think it was 1080p if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it was 2K, I could be wrong. It might have been 2K, but like it was a night and day difference. And that thing was a workhorse. I printed out so many parts and learned the majority of my resin printing on that machine. And it just was really consistent. So that in itself gave me a really good feeling about Elegoo as a company. And yes, they've come out with a lot of variations. Like they've got Mars, Mars 2, Mars 2 Pro, Mars 3, Saturn, Saturn 2, and the Elegoo Jupiter, I think is their big one. But I still think that the differences between them have been enough of a reason to sort of have a next version, and that they've somehow been able to maintain really competitive pricing considering the world and supply chain issues. And so yeah, I like what they've been doing. None I have found. Okay, no worries. Yeah, I looked GFunny to see if there was any micro centers around, and there is not. Granted, I hardly ever went down to Micro Center to purchase it, because even when I was in Orange County with traffic on a normal day, it would take there and back. It was like an hour or so trip. And so normally I would only run down there if it was like emergency, need thing now. Otherwise I would just Amazon Prime it. But it is very cool being able to see and touch the filaments in front of you, because there's been many a times where I've seen a filament online, think like, oh, it's perfect, it'll be this color, and then it shows up and you're like, this is not the same color, whether it was the lighting that was used for the photo, whether it was some sort of a render or whatever. But it is very cool being able to see the filament in front of you. I will agree with that. Especially for specific projects where you have a certain kind of goal in mind. Interesting. Yes, the affiliate link does not include the affiliate portion when clicking the hyperlink. Interesting. I wonder if that's been an issue. I'll have to look into that then. I don't know, because Lisa ordered some stuff through it and it didn't show up as an affiliate thing. And then I reached out to... On mine it does. When I click on the link, it shows us.polymaker.com/ and then it has the affiliate number. Hey, what's going on, Maker Viking? When I start typing it, the affiliate part came up. Yeah, it seems like it is working, at least on mine. I just clicked the one in the description. I got the iBox mono for my next step up in resin. Few issues still working on it. What is that? The iBox mono. Look at that. Micro Center is really cool, and I will say that the one near where I used to be, they redid. Oh, interesting. So it's a Quiddy Tech. They redid the entire store. Have you been to it, GFunny, since they've redone that one? It's insane. Like, I liked it before, and now it's beautiful. Like, whoever was in charge of the design of the new store did a really great job. Okay, so this is a 8.9 inch, so fairly large, 4K monochrome, large print size. What are the issues that you're running into with it? Everyone has glitter filaments. Only 20 minutes from Micro Center, but I still usually order from printed solid. Yeah, I typically order as well. How's it going about the SDK and open source? Chichibox SDK. Wait, how's going about? I don't know exactly what you're asking, Polaris, but I know that Chichibox and Chichiboards had like a major backlash from the community a while ago because they were, we can actually take a look at it. They were like locking down printers where they could only use this slicer, and what else were they doing? They were doing some stuff that was kind of shady, and they were supposed to be releasing an SDK, which it looks like they might have. The CTB SDK offers you the tools and resources you need to add support for the CTB file format to your applications. Let's actually get, let's get Lychee downloaded on here, since Oh, not lychee fruit, lychee slicer. 64-bit. I just bought Rainbow Silk. It is not rainbow. It's just, yeah. Let's see. Same happened in Eurolink. You need to copy it manually. Interesting. Okay. I will try to figure that out. I don't know right now what to do about that, Thybon, but I think she'll let me know because I did not know that there was issues with that. I just bought a rainbow. Yeah, I bought Rainbow Silk filament before as well off of Amazon that looked really good in photo, and then it came and it had very little transition. So yeah, I haven't been there in years. I should check. Oh yeah, definitely check it out if you get a chance. I bought my very first spool of ABS from Fry's. Rest in peace, Fry's. I loved Fry's. We would drive from where we were at to the City of Industry, which was usually like 45-minute to an hour drive, and just walk all the aisles. It's like a candy store for computer components and just all things geeky or nerdy, I guess. I love that place. I went in there, Lisa, maybe 4 times in the last 7 or 8 months, and every single time there was not a single Raspberry Pi other than Pico's. So G-Funny would be happy, but yeah, every time they're like, oh, you should have been here yesterday, or you know, they were gone within an hour. Hey, what's going on, Grant? Yeah, yep, ours is out of Pis all the time as well. Okay, so let's install Lychee really quick. Giveaway is going for another 12 minutes, so if you have not filled out the form that is pinned in the chat, do so now, and then we'll draw a name. I just want to see what Lychee's looking like now. I haven't used it in at least 4 or 5 months. Run Lychee. For anyone that doesn't know, Lychee is probably the most popular resin slicer, other than Chitubox. I don't know which one currently is more popular, but Lychee's pretty rad. Oh my god, you have a register? Can you skip for now? I might have an account. Let me take us off screen. I don't know if I have an account. It's been so damn long. Did you? I don't remember ever having to make an account before. Is that? I could be wrong. I don't actually know. Okay, it said that was incorrect. I don't think. Oh, I do have an account. It looks like. Yeah, I do. Okay, so maybe you did have to always make an account. I just don't remember having to make an account. You can order the Pi in Europe. Hey, Bear Squad, I'm doing really good. Oh, that's cool. There's video tutorials now. I'm doing really good. We moved from California to Idaho last Monday, so not 2 days ago, but now 9 days ago, and it was a whirlwind. We had planned on moving here, but it was supposed to happen in a couple of months, but then due to pretty crazy water damage, we got sort of pushed out of our lease 2 months, 3 months early. And so it's been a lot, but we are super happy. Things have been great, and things are, I mean, it's a mess in here right now, but things are really starting to come together and get dialed in. And so having like this was the living room just a couple weeks ago. So to have a dedicated room where I put the pegboards back up. Originally I was looking at doing something crazy cool to the wall, but all of it said it would damage drywall and I didn't want to do it. So, but we got workbench in, pegboards up, and then there will be some 3D printing things, and then I'm also thinking of some sort of like an LED Modbot sign that originally I was gonna buy but might be making. So I'm excited to just have there's the editing computers in that corner, and then studios right here for streaming. So I'm excited. It's all good things. It's just been a lot. It's been a lot packing up everything, and the farthest I've ever moved prior was like an hour away from home, and so to take everything and move 1,000 miles was and has been just a ton. But super thankful, and you know, I think that all things considered, you know, we're in a really good place, and it's a net positive. It's just not how I envisioned the move going in terms of like timing and how rushed it all was. But yeah, I'm doing great, thank you. Long story short, I02s, you can order the pie. Yeah, the terms and conditions page was massive. Did someone know when Elegoo will start shipping pre-orders? For what? For the Saturn 2? All communities I'm using in Lake Chino. So we using it, okay. Pie are 18 euros. No, Erin hasn't looked for a job yet. So she's been kicking butt on sort of just getting things situated. Like she's been helping a ton with like getting the kitchen all put together and the bedroom and the bathrooms. I mean, pretty much everything other than the studio and appliances she's been handling. And we're still sort of getting, like we haven't left this tiny little town. And so I think that this weekend we might head a little bit further towards the bigger town. But more than likely when I get back from Murph, that's when she'll maybe start looking. But no, right now she hasn't looked. We've been just so busy with the unpacking, and I went right back to work. We got here Monday and I streamed Wednesday, went back to work Thursday, and I also went from, I upped it from, I've been working 30 hours a week at Lightburn to now I upped it to 40 hours a week. So I am working a ton. But she's been holding down the fort and just keeping everything else in line. So we'll find something, but yeah, not yet. 3-degree resin for the mod bot and putting LED. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I originally, I don't know what I want, Zeron. Originally I was thinking of the robot, then I was just thinking of like maybe a sign that's just like this big. It says mod bot. That's sort of like not true neon, but like LED tubes that look kind of like neon. I think it'll look really cool and give a little bit of depth to the video. So to the videos on the main channel. So we'll see. How does it feel to having more than 3 printers? I've had more than 3 printers for probably 7 years now, so it's pretty standard. It's nice that there's space in the garage for all of them right now, though. Good for you. It's better that way. Settling in without the stress of job hunting is smart. Yeah, totally. She has done. She's done a lot, and she had to leave her job like the day the flooding happened, and so I want to make sure that she's situated and familiar with the area and feels comfortable, and then we'll kind of figure all that out. But yeah, it's on the list, absolutely. It just we haven't hit that point yet. So why not using the Modbot Army logo? Maybe. The switch wire. The switch wire. Let's look at this for a minute. The switch wire fell during the move. Interesting. Well, that's a cute chicken. The switch wire fell during the move, and the enclosure shattered. The acrylic on the top and the front is broken, and I think that's it, but I have not plugged it in yet. Maybe we can do that next week and make sure the switch wire is still working. Prior to the fall, the inductive probe or whatever that's on it wasn't giving me very good meshes. Like, it was pretty inconsistent, and the deviation was quite high, which might be that I need to trim the gantry or square the frame a little bit more. But I'm wanting to install a physical switch with a servo arm, and so I think the plan of action will be make sure the thing still works and that nothing else is broken, and just the enclosure. Get the ABS parts printed out for that mod, install the mod, get that mod working, source the enclosure again. I reached out to Fabrico to see if they could source it individually, and I haven't heard back, so I need to ping Fabrico again. And then hopefully continue with the Enraged Rabbit carrot feeder or the Boron 0.1. But yeah, the switch wire took a fall, which was my fault. Basically, the cart that it was on top of was the cart, the Bamboo Lab X1 in a box, and the switch wire. And the carts that I have been using, they're metal with wood, but it's quite thin metal. And although on flat ground it can support the weight, when it went to that U-Haul, like U-Haul has these sort of kind of janky metal ramps, when we were pushing it, because we didn't help like pull the weight up, the cart just buckled. Like, the metal legs completely gave out, it went forward, and the switch wire probably fell like 7 feet. Thank God it was in a box, and so that took a lot of the impact, and I think, again, just the enclosure was damaged. But yeah, my heart, as I saw it in slow motion falling down, like skipped 3-4 beats. I sent you the link for the clicky. Yes, I think, nice, I think that is the one that I sourced things for. I'm pretty sure you posted the link in the live stream channel, and then I pinned it, and then I ordered all the parts for it. Now, where are the parts after the move? I don't know, but I think I have everything I need, like the servos, the magnets, the screws, and all that stuff. So I should be ready to rock and roll. Yeah, it hurt. Printed solid has the ACM, has nice ACM panel. Okay, cool. Maybe I'll have to do that then. We'll send you a link. Okay, yeah, whatever anyone's got, I will take it, because I don't know if Fabrico is able to source them separately, or if they're just a part of the LDO kits. Okay, so we're going to draw 3 minutes left, and we will draw the spool of filament for the giveaway, the spool of Polymaker filament. Let's see if they've got Elegoo Saturn 2. Awesome. Elegoo Saturn 2. Oh, do they not have resin? Wait, what? I thought that they had a... Oh, they do. Sick. So the thing that's sick about Lychee is, one, like, the user interface looks much more modern and refreshed, or fresh, and there's a lot of settings. But the fact that you can click on this and you can see for this printer, like, what people have been using. So it looks like Resin Profiles. This is the one people have been using. 10 plus users with at least 1+ prints, and it's been 100% positive. So you can add the selected profile, choose the printer you want to copy the selected profile to, sweet. And then if you want to change things up, you can. But it's really cool that they have this sort of community of feedback for resins and printers. It's very, very powerful. I want to do more of the clones. Why everyone draws the giveaway at 00 AM for me? Sorry, Bear Squad. It's only 3 PM here. I try. Can you run Octoprint on a Pico? No. They don't even recommend a Pi 0, even though I've done that. But you'd want either a Pi 3, Pi 2W, or a Pi 4, which Pi 4 is probably overkill unless you're running multiple instances. Drop it again from the opposite side that it dropped on, and it will heal the damage. That is the kind of logic that I love to hear. Lychee is much easier to use, and shared resin settings is great. Yep, I 100% agree. That sounds great, Zeron. Thank you very much. I will absolutely let you know if it is something that I'm going to need. I'm going to check in with Fabrico one more time. If I don't hear back, then I might check Printed Solid, because Fermio is out of Europe, right? You said they're 15. Yeah, so they have to be. They're in Germany. Lychee's much easier to use. Pico doesn't have internal connectivity for one. That's also very valid. If it's broken, use duct tape. If it's not working, you didn't use enough. I actually got rid of the acrylic panels for it. I was sad, and so when I saw it broke, I took the front doors off and chalked them. Okay, let's do the drawing for the giveaway. Let me go back to Sidecam. So we'll do the drawing for the giveaway. Then we will make sure the print is printing correctly. We'll take this off, hit pause, and then resume it. And then we'll chill for a bit, and then probably end the stream for today. Yes, we are going to do... Okay, we'll give everyone 60 seconds. If you have not entered in for the drawing, there is a pinned form in the chat. You just need to enter name, email, and Discord. And we are drawing for a spool of Polymaker filament. Pi 0 is validated for Octoprint. Okay, so you're saying you can. I swore Gina, the creator of Octoprint, like fought tooth and nail to state that you cannot use a Pi 0, or was not recommending them because of the issues that could. Oh, Pi 0 2. Okay, yeah. No, that changes everything. Yep, absolutely. For some reason, YouTube loaded me 20 seconds behind. Interesting. Hey, what's going on, BBs? We are doing the giveaway in like T-minus 40 seconds, BBs. If you want to enter in, go to the forum. I will give you 30 seconds or so to enter in, and then we're going to close it off and do the drawing. There is currently 64 entries. All right, switch from monster to water. Is it sticking to the build plate? Oh, I hope so. We'll check in a minute. You got me scared now. If it's not working, it's because I said it was a 90% chance that it would print successfully. Okay, we are grabbing all of the names. There are 65 entries. If my mouse will work. Ah. There we go. Okay. We have names. Clear out last week's. There we go. So there's 66. How is that possible? All right, someone snuck in. All right, let's go back to the screen. Do you hear the peal? I heard the peal earlier. It's okay, just got home from work. I did hear the peal earlier. How bad are the fumes? YouTubers I've never seen talk about ventilation. It's one. Yeah, first person printer was prepared with a respirator, but didn't realize how violent. Oh, I don't think that the fumes are that bad, Tank Master. The thing is everyone has their own levels of sensitivity, and all resins are incredibly different. So for me, the fumes aren't that bad if I go with like fast resin or most standard model resins. Also, this one has a carbon filter inside of it. Okay, we are going to shuffle it a couple times as for G Funny. All right, everyone, for a spool of Polymaker filament shipped anywhere in the world. Good luck, everybody. Yeah, I will contact you most likely via email unless you're super active in Discord. Then I will contact you via Discord. Good luck. 3, 2, and here we go. Maker, Viking. Viking got it. Congratulations, man. Awesome. So this is going to Europe. Viking, I talked to you on Discord, so if you're cool with it, I will message you on Discord, and I will send you the form later on today as long as you are here. Hey, my brother's here. Everyone say hi, Nick. Congratulations. Tony was super close. I'm pretty sure Tony, if you're still here, you won something from the 1,000 subscriber giveaway, right? I'm almost positive. I can't remember what it was, but I feel like you did. Yeah, so I will message you on Discord a little bit later today. Well, my video's like way behind chat. Maybe Viking can use it towards can't think of the name of the printer right now. Fair, F-E-R, he'll post it. But towards the printer he's building. He's building a like fully printable Core XY printer that looks awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and see if this is working correctly. So I'm going to remove the lid, and we should see some green hardened part on the build plate. Oh, it's totally sticking. I just heard the peeling. If it's not sticking, I'm freaking out now, but I think we're good. Oh yeah. Now again, my only concern is with the support structures. I went with medium and not heavy, and I can't remember if that's something I would typically have done on a model this size. Let me see. Let me drop this down so we can see it. You should be able to see it. Yeah. So I can tap on the area. See if that works. Yeah, so you can see all the support structures sticking on there. It's gonna be awesome looking. This is a really cool green. Green is by no means my favorite color, but something about green resin just looks so, like, I don't know, biohazard, toxic-y. It's very cool. Isn't printing resin indoor? No, because resin in lungs equals bad. I have not heard very much bad about resin per se, kind of. And I think that everybody has their own sensitivity levels, but I've exclusively been resin printing inside for probably the better part of 5 years now. So hopefully, I would say that you should be probably in a room that's fairly well ventilated. Typically, I would try to open a window. It's closed right now because we're streaming. But yeah, that's my response to that. Play. That does not look very good with the, but yeah, generally speaking, again, if you've got, I probably wouldn't want to be sitting next to it all day long without having some sort of good ventilation, but I don't find it to be that bad. And I haven't seen any any science or any studies that have really said too much other than that. Okay, get 20 gore won the nozzle for microsource. Okay, I was gonna say, I know that Tony won something. I don't think it off-gasses VOCs that harshly. Yeah, that's my understanding as well, and I hope that that's accurate, but I still do my best. You know, this is a sort of unique circumstance because we're live streaming, but other than me grabbing footage of a resin printer printing for video's sake, I typically let the resin printer off in the corner do its thing, and if I smell any odors, well, you know, try to leave the room or open up a window to help with venting it out properly, so. You know what we can do if we want? Elegoo did send over, I'm trying to think, I'm still cool streaming for a little bit longer. Elegoo did send over the new firmware version for their Neptune 3 that supposedly fixes the leveling issue. We could play around with that. Damn it, inappropriate. I know, I thought about it. We were at Home Depot and I saw filter systems and I thought of you because I was like, I told him that the second we moved, I would get one of those big monster HEPA filters. And then I realized how expensive moving was and all the other things we needed to buy first. But yeah, I need to get one. And when I do, I will, it will, you know, in your honor, it will sit there and I could even, maybe I'll put a sticker or something like that says inappropriate maker was here. What did they say that the firmware is not on the site? That's a great, I don't know. Perhaps it's, or you know what, no. So I can read you what they said actually. I think they said that they all ship with the latest firmware. I don't know why it's not on the site right now. I don't have the answer to that, but I looked it up earlier because I figured I wanted to update everybody. Okay, so what Elegoo said, I'll read my email to them as well, so there's contact. So after the stream, oh, I actually do have photos as well. Let's see here, I'll show you. So there was clearly under extrusion on last week's print. I have a feeling it's something simple, like again, the Bowden fitting not seated correctly, which is causing some sort of issues. But this is, this is last week, wait. The iPhone takes photos in .heic formatting, and because this is, it cost 99. Do I have Affinity on here? I might not be able to open my photos to show you guys. Okay. Let's see if I can upload these to Google Drive really quick. New folder. Let's see, let's call it Neptune 3 print. Hopefully Drive can display them. Neptune 3 print, file upload. There we go. Okay, less than a minute left. There we go. So here is the print from last week's stream. And there's just pretty obvious under extrusion. Like, the top layer, there are gaps, and I might be wrong. I don't think it's a slicer setting. Like, I can obviously check that it's extruding the correct amount of filament or that like each steps are set correctly, but I don't see how it's not set correctly. I have a feeling that there is an issue with something to do with the fitting between the extruder and the hot end. So game plan is update firmware, and then without changing anything else, run another print, probably just a test cube to see how the flow is looking. And then if the flow is still looking like this, then I will start to actually do a little bit of hardware troubleshooting. But yeah, it's definitely not a very, pretty print. Just a lot of gaps in the top layer. The almost looks like a partial clog, but nothing's been printed on it yet. So I have a feeling that, again, I just need to reseat something, but we'll see. I'll definitely update everybody with what the resolution looks like. But so yeah, I emailed Elegoo after last week's stream saying like, hey, I wanted to update everyone on things. You know, I officially moved into the new place. We did a test live stream where we unboxed and started using the Neptune 3, and then I linked them to it. And I said, we did run into some issues on stream. The first was that after doing the leveling from the printer per the instructions, it was not applying the leveling during the print. In the slicer, I added M420S1 to the starting G code, which did seem to fix this issue. But I wanted to reach out and see if you were aware of this. Please let me know if there is some update that resolves this. The initial print also had some inconsistencies with extrusion. I've not done any tweaks yet, but wanted to see if you had any ideas before I take a deep dive into it. And then I just mentioned that the first thing I was going to check is the ends of the Bowden tube and seeing if they needed to be reseated, but I'm open to any other ideas you may have. And then they responded back, I kind of like the way, kind of like the way what looks, the printer or the get a pet friendly filter as well. I have. That's a great idea, Lisa. Our allergies have been terrible. We will be moving in 6 or 7 years. Where are you planning on moving to? Is that right? I dread moving. What did they? Oh, okay. I'm reading that right now. You need a HEPA carbon filter. I will post a photo. I kind of like the way it looks. The print. Oh, okay. Yeah, it doesn't look that great in person. Maybe the photo looks a little better. Hey, Steve's here. I don't know if it's going to pop up a notification for being a member again. I thought that it would have, but thank you very much for renewing your membership. I hope you're doing well, and looking forward to seeing you in what, T-minus 8 or 9 days. I was just talking about Murph, so I'm super excited. And I was just saying that I'm going with Lightburn, which is the company I work for, and we're going to have a booth. So I'll be there for at least some of the hours, I think each of the days of the convention, but then I will absolutely be making my rounds. So if I'm there and you want to come by and say hello, awesome. If not, I will definitely find you at some point and say hello, but I'm very much so excited. I'm not moving. Wait, did I say Zerant? No, I mixed up. Tripods is what I meant. Where are you moving to? Somewhere southeast away from the snow. Snow plus crutches equals bad combo. Just, yeah, I guess I hadn't even thought of that, but that does, I mean, snow without crutches, I think is a lot of work. So, I could imagine that not, being something that maybe as you get older, you definitely don't want to deal with so much. I am 100% going to be overwhelmed. My personality is very much like, I'm an introverted extrovert. Like, I love people, and anyone that knows me and hangs out with me is like, yeah, like, Daniel, that guy's got a lot of energy. He's really pumped up. But the sort of like caveat to that is that some people seem to get like more energy, like they can just go and socialize and it pumps them up. While for me, it's like incredibly draining. I really enjoy it, but when I used to travel for trade shows, for days after that, I'm just dead. Like I have no energy. I just want to sleep. I don't really feel like it takes a lot out of me. And so a combination of knowing that I'm like that and having not been around a lot of people in 2 years' time, I'm absolutely going to be overwhelmed very, very quickly. So I'm excited. I know it'll be fun. I have a feeling a lot of people are going to have that sort of like, we've been in pandemic for 2 years and this is my first human interaction. Like, so I don't think that's going to be a very isolated thing, but yeah, I'm also anticipating that I will be very overwhelmed as well. I have resin printer question for you. For models needing to join together, when they have pretty large gaps in putting them together, how do you fill them in? That's a great question. I haven't done nearly as many multi-part resin prints. The ones that I have done, I think I've tried a couple of things. I'm pretty sure that I've used some sort of was it a putty that I bought one time? I'm pretty sure I used like super glue and was it baking soda? There's something like a common cooking element, whether it's baking soda or something else, makes the super glue cure very, very quickly. And whatever that, whether it's baking soda or whatever else it was, gives it a bit of texture to it, so you can kind of use it to fill gaps and then sand it, especially if you're going to post-process it. Some other people have used resin to sort of put in areas. It depends on how thick the cracks are. And then a lot of people I know that do cosplay stuff use things like Bondo. I don't know, I haven't used Bondo, and I don't know how thick of a material it is, or again, like if we're talking joining together small miniatures or like larger things, but there's a lot of options out there. I just haven't done too much of it. Most of the resin prints I've done are like singular pieces. And again, the times I have joined together, I've probably just sanded until I was able to get them nice and flush. Because there definitely is like a shrinkage factor, like different than thermoplastics, but there's absolutely a shrinkage factor or a pull/skew factor when resin 3D printing. And so most of the times when I've tried to join parts together like you're describing, it's very rarely a smooth fit unless somehow, some way the creator has factored those tolerances into the model itself. I'll be fine with the humidity, maybe even lose some weight. That's one thing I don't do. How are you with humidity? I've been in the Midwest in July. When I was at Murph in 2018, Steve, I don't remember it being very humid. It was freezing. It was rain. I don't think there was snow. Was there snow? I remember rain and just freezing cold. Like I bundled up with thermals and jackets and still being really cold because they did the oh gosh, open RC race with the 3D printed RC cars, and then like Destruction Derby. And I was outside with everyone, and we were like not huddled in a circle, but kind of huddled around this track that was created, and it was so cold. But I don't remember it being very humid when I was there last time. I don't know what it's been like right now. Someone said you can mix resin and baby powder. Okay. Yeah, resin and baby powder might work to sort of, that way you can still cure it and it will harden, but you want a little bit, because typically the, like with the sort of roininess of resin, it's, depending on how big the gap is, probably wouldn't fill the gap. It would kind of drip down. So adding something like baby powder, I can see how it would give you a little bit more bite and turn it into almost like a clay or something that you can sort of mold around that gap. So I've never used that, but if someone else is saying that, then you know, maybe it does, or it's at least worth trying. Oh, that's Steve, you have a valid point. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because I went when I was working at Matter Hackers, and I got hired in February, and I remember it was the month after. So you're right, it was in March. It was not in June. That changes everything. It's going to be tough, I'm sure. Try green stuff. It's a 2-part Play-Doh that will be hardened. Okay, let me, I never read, so I read what I said, but Elegoo's response was, thanks for the long live stream. I reported your problem to our R&D department. The leveling fails for 2 reasons. Compensation value is too small. The compensation value is about 0.2 to 0.4, so 200 to 400 microns. Please adjust the compensation value. There will be a little difference between each machine. I don't know, I honestly don't know. That first point, I was like, okay. And then the second point says, the second reason is that the firmware has not been updated, which I can attest to that. We took it out of the box last week. It certainly has not had the firmware updated. It says, when we leveled before, the temperature of the heated bed was set to 50 Celsius, and the default temperature for printing was 60 Celsius. The temperature will also have some impact on the platform, so please try to refresh the firmware. In our batch machines, so basically what is shipping now, are using this new version of firmware, version 1.0.2. Sorry for the inconvenience. Please feel free to let us know if there's any other problems. Once I see the email, I can let our R&D team know. That's hilarious. I didn't read the last. I didn't read the last sentence in Elegoo's email back said, "Your stream brought me a lot of smiles, and the cheeseburger looks delicious." Because I was eating the McDonald's cheeseburger that Aaron brought at the beginning of the stream. That's so funny. Oh, I read this email briefly before, but completely overlooked that. That's great. Steve's taking off. Okay, gotta go. See you next week. Have a wonderful week, and I am, again, super looking forward, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be crazy, but I am stoked. So, I will have to recheck the weather because I was going there with the anticipation of my last trip there, but at the temperature and humidity you described, it might be t-shirts and shorts for me. So thanks for stopping by, Steve. It's good seeing you. If you have some pieces made from resin or even the previous supports, you can sand them to produce powder, and you can use to mix new resin and interesting. Yeah, I've never used any of these things. Does anyone have a favorite strong resin? I'm trying to print some really small figures to display for my son. The arms keep breaking off. My favorite strong resin, Brandon, is Tech Blue, spelled B-L-U. Additionally, if you just want to prevent miniatures from breaking, if you get maybe like a 90-10 or 80-20 mix of the model resin with some flexible resin, that is a really great way to add some impact resistance to the parts and make it where they don't break quite so easily. My son lives in Goshen, about 5 minutes from our location. He says it's hot there right now. Awesome. Well, I own one pair of shorts other than basketball shorts, so I will probably be bringing my one pair of shorts. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I just, it's been, 4 years now. And so I was like, yeah, last time I remember it was really cold, but that's a good point. They shifted it back a couple months now, so it's gonna be very different. Yeah, no problem, Brandon. Hopefully that will work out. I'm sure it will. I did a video, show you actually. I think we won't take out the Neptune 3 today since I've been kind of talking a lot. If you have not, I used to need to get better at saying this, but if you have not, please hit the like button. It really helps out the channel, and the channel's growing, which is awesome. I think we're at like 1,660 subs right now, which is awesome. So, YouTube, desktop, not Tenacious D, Tenacious Resin. So I did a review on this quite a while ago. This is back in 2019. Well, I guess this wasn't a blend. So this was me printing straight up with the resin, but this little banana night, this stuff was, and this guy, I think I flick him. I mean, like, it's almost, granted, I didn't, like, there's probably a little bit more curing that needs to happen for these models, but the way I would describe the feeling of them was almost like that of a gummy bear. Like, they were very, very flexible. So, like, squeezing it, and then it does return to its normal form after, but it's very, very flexible and actually quite difficult to print. So I wouldn't recommend going with a full flexible resin, but doing a blend I think is not a bad idea to, again, just make the miniatures a little bit less, fragile. I'm very happy with the frozen TR250 or even 200 straight to high temperature, very good resins. I haven't used either of those. When I reviewed the I used the frozen, it was a small, the frozen 2K I think it was, or the Sonic Mini. Frozen Sonic Mini is what I did. Lisa says, I just purchased my Playmaker film and I used the link, hopefully it'll work. Okay, I will check after this. Hopefully too. I don't know why the first one didn't work. It's always t-shirts and shorts unless it drops below 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, I guess, what year tripods did they switch it to being June? Because again, it was March when I went last. I forgot. We were 92 in Raleigh, North Carolina, and 56%. Humidity feels like 103. Man, yeah, that's brutally hot. It is really nice today, and gosh, in where we are, which is Nampa, Idaho. It's 72 right now, which is really, really nice. Tomorrow will be 86, so it's warming up, and then 69, 72, 81, 85. But it's pretty nice. Like today, that's why today is yard work day. If you have strong air conditioning. I think last year, however, that was my, oh, okay, gotcha, so last year was your first year. 80% frozen TRQ50 plus 10% Sartic Blue plus 10% tenacious, and you get a bulletproof resin. Yeah, that sounds insane because you'd get a little bit of flex, so the impact resistance. You get the blue, which gives you some of the like increased tensile strength, and I believe some of the thermal resistance. And the TR250 I don't know about, but I have to, I'll take your word for it that it's a pretty aggressive resin in terms of strength. 112, 105. Yeah, it's hot. It's all around hot. Like, let me see. So I am from Riverside, California. Weather. So it's 94 there, or 92 today. So it's just hot everywhere right now. It's really hot. It's crazy. I think we'll take a look, one last look at where the print is at. We're at what now? We were at 8% last time, now we're at 14%, so another 6. We're probably still just doing supports and maybe the very tip of Vecna's head, but let's take a look at it. I also have no IPA right now, so I won't be able to clean him until it shows up in 2 days, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do as far as cleaning goes. I guess I could use an alternative cleaning agent if I run to the store, but yeah, it's pretty much just supports still. Let's see. Oh, did it fail? It failed. It totally failed. And it was my fault. Like I said, if it fails, it's gonna be my fault. It looks like the supports didn't hold on. I'm looking in the vat and I am seeing Vecna's round head stuck to the FEP. That sucks. Okay, so new game plan is as soon as stream ends, I'm going to reprint it, the exact same print, the exact same orientation, but I'm going to up the support density from medium to high, so that way the parts that bite onto the model are thicker. I just let it hang in on the build plate until the IPA shows. I guess I could do that too, leave it on the build plate. But we were looking to move from Colorado. My company should have a position in Tucson. Asked my wife, and she said hard no. Yeah, it's a bummer. So let me see. Let me open up. So I guess I would have used large supports previously. So let's do. It's going to generate them inside the model again. Let me go ahead and remove all. Operation manual, yes. Yeah, we'll go with that. I won't make any other changes. I'm gonna re-slice it though, so that way the supports are not internal. But yeah, the issue was that the head basically just didn't have enough grip on it. I just don't know where the stand goes. Yeah, I can do that as well. That's a bummer. The prints, I mean, like the actual printer itself is doing a good job, but the full force of the FPP and the tips of those medium supports just weren't enough. So I'll just scrape that off. It's going to be interesting, especially because I don't have IPA. You know what? I'll probably scrape it onto the Wham Bam. I actually forgot to take this out, but the little slap mat, I'll probably just scrape it onto here since this is silicone and take this out into the sun, let it cure, throw it out, and then fire it off again. So I will post an update tonight in the Discord. Let me put this back on for right this second. So I will post an update. Let's see. Tonight in the Discord, I will post an update and hopefully it will be completed. Again, I don't have IPA, so it might be like what Zeron said, hanging on the build plate, or I might run down to the store and just get some like mean green or something else, like an alternative cleaning agent. I don't like using those as much as IPA because I just don't feel like they clean nearly as well. And IPA, you can also take it outside and it will typically evaporate or dissolve, evaporate. While with the mean green stuff, it's a lot tougher in my opinion to figure out how to dispose of it. But in this case, because I don't have any IPA, I had a big tub, but I didn't want to transport it. We got rid of it, and I might need to do that. So I'll let everybody know. Hopefully we'll be able to get a successful print, but I have a feeling that those medium supports just were not enough to grip onto the them. I'm actually tempted to try slicing it in lychee instead because I do prefer lychee. I'll figure it out, and then I will let everybody know what I end up doing. Check in order to get filled prints off the FEP easily. Okay, I will check out that. Good. Your store should have IPA. Your store should have IPA as well. Oh, interesting. There is a Walmart not too far away. I think it's like a super center. So maybe I'll do that and just pick up like one bottle. That way I've at least got something until the 6 bottles I ordered comes in. Slap mats are awesome. I have the small one and then the large one, and they just, mine's really messy, but the thing I like about it is it's a good work surface. Like I'll typically get resin on my hand from it. I'll typically solder on this because the solder just, if it drops, will drop on it and come right off. And then again, the fact that you can take this out with the resin, cure it directly on here, and it doesn't destroy the silicone, and then just, it typically will peel right off, and then you're left with a clean mat again. It's awesome. So and I've had this for quite a long time now, and it lasts. So yeah, I do think it's really nice if you're doing a lot of resin printing, whether it's the slab mat or you get some other sort of mat, like having a build surface is great to keep stuff off of your workspace, because the resin can definitely get messy, and even if you're super careful, it does drip. Like, you will drip, or at some point you will spill something, even if it's just a little bit. Cool. Well, I think on that note, we'll end the stream again. I will post some updates on what's going on with this print in the live stream channel on Discord, and we will be streaming next week. So Wednesday, I'm fly out Thursday. I can't think of any reason why we wouldn't stream next Wednesday. I just don't know what we're going to do yet. I want to get back into working on some project videos. I also have a small desktop CNC that might be coming in that would be fun to build, and a couple other things. So I don't know the order of operations on videos and kind of what I want to do, but there will be something posted, and hopefully I will see some of you here next Wednesday. Field prints are run exposure on screen, and it gets all the field prints off. The only reason I don't want to run the failed print thing is because the only reason why I don't run it is because it would destroy all the resin that's in the vat. And with this resin, since it's translucent, I can easily see inside and just get off that part. The way I typically remove a failed piece that's stuck to the vat is removing the screws and sort of massaging where the part has adhered to the FEP. And typically, if you go from the underside and just lightly massage it, it peels off very easily. And if you get it in one fell swoop, you can save all the resin in your vat, because otherwise, especially on a vat this size, like, you lose, I mean, more than half the bottle's in there. So that would be a ton of lost resin. Okay, let's do that. If everyone's cool with it, let's do, Pi says ERCF. So I need to print out parts for the ERCF still, and because the switch wire is needing a repair possibly and the bed leveling probe, I want to hold off on it. I like that idea. So next Wednesday, we'll do the stream for the switch wire. We will assess the switch wire. I might turn it on beforehand. Maybe start installing the servo and for the probe, and that will probably be it. We'll do that next week. That sounds great. I like the idea. It is set in stone. And then Thursday I'll be taking off and we'll be at Murph. So anyways, I hope everybody, wait, what's there on say? I am pouring all resin out, put an old support in, and put a bit of resin in again and run the exposure. Oh, interesting. I'll take a look at that. I might do, because the method I've been doing has been worked pretty well for me for quite a while. The whole like just massage the bottom, especially with translucent resin, because you can make sure by just looking at it that you got all the cured resin out. But anyways, thank you everyone for hanging out. This week's stream was much smoother than last week's. Congratulations to Maker Viking for winning our giveaway. I hope everyone has an awesome week, and I will try to be in the Discord a little bit, and next week we will be playing around with these switch wires. So thank you all for being amazing. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and yeah, I will see everybody next time. Bye everybody.